Hey guys, I'm Nicole and welcome to Science But Simply. My goal is to make science accessible, understandable, and hopefully fun for everyone. And today we are talking about something that I just have found fascinating ever since I learned about it. It's something like, you wanna know my fun fact at a party? This is my fun fact at a party. I'm cool that way, and I hope I've piqued your interest because today we are talking about artificial banana flavoring. I know, but stay with me, because have you ever thought about it? Like, if you get banana flavored taffy or a popsicle or insert it here, it doesn't taste like the bananas you find in the produce aisle. Like, seriously does not taste like it. If you didn't read the label and it didn't see that it saw a banana, you'd be like, I have no idea what I'm eating. And it turns out there's actually some really cool science behind it. It delves into conservation and biology and chemistry and all of these cool things. So I hope I've piqued your interest, like I said. And if so, let's talk about it. In order to explain why banana flavored candy does not actually taste like real bananas, we first need to talk about the difference between artificial and natural flavoring. The names kind of give it away, right? Natural flavoring is something you would be able to find from some organism, plant, something in the environment. Artificial flavoring is man-made in a lab and designed to, as closely as possible, but as we'll talk about, not exactly, mimic that natural flavoring. And artificial flavors are everywhere, right? If you go to the baking aisle, you'll find artificial vanilla that has vanillin. If you're buying something that has an artificial flavor that's supposed to taste citrusy, you'll probably have limonene in there. And if you're buying some gum, normally you're gonna have the artificial flavor menthol, which gives it that sort of minty flavor. They're everywhere. The primary compound used in artificial banana flavoring is a compound called isoamyl acetate. But do you know where isoamyl acetate comes from? It is a flavor that is common in bananas, particularly in a variety of bananas known as the Gros Michel. Maybe like me, until you learned about some of this stuff, you didn't realize that there were different varieties of bananas. I mean, I can chalk mine up to the fact that I don't like them. But I also think, we go to the store and it's not like they're labeled all sorts of different things like apples are. You've got bananas. But there are actually thousands of different varieties of bananas. And the Gros Michel has quite a bit of isoamyl acetate. But here's the thing. The Gros Michel is not what you're going to find in grocery stores today. You're going to find something called the Cavendish. Why? In the mid-20th century, a devastating disease called the Panama disease swept through and destroyed most Gros Michels. And the reasoning behind that is also kind of interesting, but a topic for another video. The thing to know is that today we have the Cavendish, not the Gros Michel. And this relates to banana flavoring because when artificial banana flavoring was synthesized, it was designed to taste like the Gros Michel, which has a different flavor than a Cavendish that we see today. So it's one reason why they don't taste the same. That's why banana flavoring does not taste like the banana you find in the grocery store, because it tastes like a banana that most of us have never even eaten. I'm just gonna give you a minute to absorb that because I find that so fascinating. And it is a large part of it, but it's not the whole story. We've talked about the biology reason behind why banana flavoring doesn't really taste like the bananas you see in the grocery store, but there's also a chemical reason. And that comes down to how flavors work, how compounds work, maybe not compounds work, but how flavors work and things like that. So let's talk about it. When we taste a flavor, when you're eating an apple pie, for example, what's happening is you have taste receptors in your mouth, and they're able to recognize the compounds and structures of different molecules in that apple pie, activate certain receptors, which send signals to the brain, and the brain uses memory it has of those compounds along with other senses that you might be experiencing, sight, taste, things like that, to say, I am eating an apple pie. When food scientists are trying to design artificial flavors, they are designed to hit those exact same taste receptors. And often artificial flavors and natural flavors have similar compounds like isoamyl acetate that's found in the Gros Michel variety of the banana and in artificial banana flavoring. The difference is that it is virtually impossible to completely mimic a natural flavor. Natural flavors are complex. They consist of many different compounds. And not only would it be very cost prohibitive to kind of synthesize all of those different compounds, but sometimes it's impossible. There's a lot of compounds that are unstable and you can't recreate them in a lab. So what scientists do is they look for the most dominant flavors. Isoamyl acetate, vanillin, things like that. The ones that would hit the brain and be like, ah, yes, I recognize what I'm tasting. Because of that, artificial flavors don't taste like natural flavorings. They don't have the complexity that you would find in natural flavors. So if we're taking it back to this whole banana flavoring situation, the reason why banana flavoring does not taste like real bananas is because artificial flavorings just can't, right? They're not as complex as natural flavoring. It's almost impossible to truly mimic that taste. And on top of that, we are tasting a banana that most people haven't tasted. So yeah. Next time you pick a piece of taffy that has a little fun joke on it and it says artificial banana flavoring, keep in mind that you're tasting a candy that has this fascinating history and science behind it. I hope you find that as interesting as I did. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, all of the stuff. And keep learning, keep exploring, stay curious, and I'll see you next time.